All right, welcome everybody. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about is just kind of show this slide real quick. Um, Team building, right? Attracting people into CWE, but not just CWE, anything you ever decide to do. Everything I'm going to show you right now applies to everywhere, everything. The internet offers incredible opportunities, and what we've created, creates even more opportunities than usual because there's so many people that have been led into our groups, and there's so many people that are excited to take part in cryptocurrency but are lost and confused. So you'll notice here underneath team building, it says serve to lead and grow. So if you want to grow as a person, grow in cryptocurrency, a lot of you are really evolved in personal development or spiritually, but to apply that into results, you have to take action in the way that I'm talking about. And you can do it in your own way, but I mean, the way that I'm framing it can be applied to every personality type, every different kind of, um, situation, really. It's about service. So let's go a little bit deeper here. These are the things that you can be doing between now and before I really do this in the group. There's going to be a few days here where I'm going to focus on developing the system and other things. I'll still be doing a little of this stuff, but in a few days, later this week, I'm going to do this a lot, unless I feel like it was all handled. But I feel like at this point, probably I'll need to come in and kind of do a final sweep of like letting everyone know I'm available. And again, I don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but I just want you to kind of know that I might come in and and try to kind of bring everyone out who's been prospects or out of the loop or what have you in all the different groups. So you have a few days to really um, kind of take the lead and offer a lot of value and a lot of service. So, just some things that I gave myself as some things to run through that you can run through to know what to do in the groups to provide service and attract people into CWE or anything for that matter in the future. So I want you to ask yourself, did you learn anything today? If you did, then share it. By the way, this is really simple stuff. Uh, Once you get your heart and mind focused on the right energy, it's like so effortless, it's incredible. Um, you know, I've been for many years now, I've been able to somewhere along the line I just surrendered to it all, and it's very rare that I feel the energy of trying to get somebody or try to sign somebody up, and whenever I feel that, I let it go immediately. If I was in that space of trying to get somebody or trying to sign somebody up, then I don't think it would be very effective. And I remember that many, many, many years ago. Just seems like nothing really ever worked really well. So a lot of this is super simple, but it's more about tweaking like what you're focused on, what you're feeling. In fact, I've seen some people post some things in the groups, and I've talked to a couple of them about it, where I could tell they were frustrated, and they'd say something in front of the prospects, like in our groups, like they might, like I posted, "Oh, my bot's on fire today," and someone said, "Well, man, mine's not," and I understand that, and we talked about it, and I said that, I can tell there's some frustration there. Like that's when like you're gonna have a really, really hard time serving people and having like this effortless, attracting people and helping them get started with anything that you think is valuable, including CWE. It's like it's how you feel about all this. You have to be in service mode. Okay, so anyway, did you learn anything today? If so, you share it. If you haven't learned anything today, do you have a question about something? Something about how the bot works, something about how the business works. If you do, go out and learn it. Talk to Upline, go study videos, get the answer to your question, and now you've learned something, and now you can share it. And you can just come in and say, "Hey guys, I learned something really cool today," or "I had a question about the compensation plan." For those of you mulling over, you can talk about it. Like it's that simple. Third thing, uh, I have that's a repeat. Uh, so actual third thing, fourth on my list, you can make it, once you learn something and share it, or have a question, you go out and find the answer to it and you share it. That's service. You're providing value in the groups. You can either make a text post. I can show some examples of that. You can do a video where you're seen, Or if that's too hard, you could, I don't like doing video. Like I don't like to think about my background, my lighting. It's too much to think about. I don't like dark, ugly videos. Like I like it to look nice and it just takes too much work. So I do PowerPoint because I can just turn it on and go. I have to make the slides, but it's easier for me to make slides than it is to, think about my lighting and all that stuff, and the camera's upstairs and I got to move it down here and all that kind of stuff. And or my computer camera just doesn't do a good job. I think it's because I got a big window behind me with a lot of light coming in, so I look really, really dark, and I like sitting here. I don't want to move around. So I don't like doing video. Whatever the reason why you don't like doing video, where you're in it, maybe you like to do PowerPoint. But think about that, because video or PowerPoint presentations are going to be more valuable. Now, if you don't know how to do a PowerPoint presentation, go learn how and then teach it. And then you become more valuable in the group. And then when you're, answering questions and stuff, you just have that much more power yourself because you provided value. You're seen as valuable. This stuff it's really easy. I think everyone kind of knows this stuff. They just looking for shortcuts, I guess. Answer questions posted along the way. People are asking questions all the time. I'm going to show you some examples of that. Notice how others created engagement. I've seen some people just like post something and they're getting massive engagement. Like, look at that. What did they do? Why did it work? Maybe you won't know right away. Try to figure it out. Serve people from where they are. So, sometimes you might be serving people when you're making a post, or, you're sharing something. Sometimes you're speaking to those that are new to the group who might be looking for their 30-day free system. And you can start out a post saying, hey, if you're new to this, it's so simple, right? If you're new to this group and you're looking for your 30-day free system, Mike has mentioned that's coming, but here's what's going on. We're getting our ducks in a row. We're in a transition. We're moving away from lending platforms. You could share all this. We're moving away from lending platforms and we're moving into Autobot because, you can actually increase your Bitcoin without a lending platform holding on to it, which we've learned is very risky. You can share that. That's value, that's service. And you're talking to, in this case, in that example, the group of people that you guys should, a lot of are waiting for their 30-day free system. And you can lay it all out and say it's going to take, 7 to 14 days. For those of you who've been waiting a while already, maybe a little bit less. Maybe we can get that started this week. Say just sit tight. For those of you who want to connect up with me, if you haven't been working with anybody, reach out. I can share with you what we're doing. I can help expedite the process of getting your system when it's ready, when they're ready to build it. That's value. In that case, you're talking to those that are new to the group. In other cases, you might provide value to those that are already interested in CWE. Like, hey guys, if you watched Mike's video that he shared yesterday on crypto world evolution and how we've now moved into a much more sustainable, safer way to build and grow our Bitcoin. If you've watched that video, you have questions, I'm here to help. It's really, really simple. It's remarkably simple, which is why I think people know what to do. It's just so darn simple. They either think, oh, it can't be that simple, or it's the work. They're just not willing to enter into the work of service. Like, that's what's valuable. The work of service. I put this up here to remind me to tell you that that we have different groups, right? And one of them is called Risky Business. So if you're posting in the Risky Business group, you have to be mindful of the context of that group as compared to one of our other groups. So let's go look at our groups real quick to talk about that. So when you're providing service, make sure you understand the context and the purpose of the group that you're providing service in. So for example, I just shared a couple examples of how you might talk to new people coming into the group that are looking for their free 30-day trial. That wouldn't be appropriate in the Risky Business group. The Risky Business group doesn't have people coming into it looking for the 30-day free system that I offered. By the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about right now, I know it's hard to stay up with everything that's going on. That's okay. If some of the examples I'm giving today don't make sense to you, it's just because you missed something that we've been doing, and that's okay. You'll catch other pieces of what I'm sharing, right? So for those of you who are aware of what I'm talking about, where we had offered a 30-day free trial system to some people that I was posting on, doing some YouTube. It's really just experimenting to generate leads. There's a lot of people in our group that are looking for the 30-day free system. Please don't ask me about it if you don't know about it already. We need to move forward, but I just want to use that example for those who followed that. You wouldn't talk about the 30-day free system in the Risky Business group. You'd talk about it in the Bitcoin ICO cryptocurrency leverager group, because that's where those people would be. In the Risky Business group, you would probably do, let's do an example of what the service would be there. Let me go to risky business. So you go here and you think about it, right? Like, okay, so why are people here? Well, they probably got caught up in lending platforms. Maybe they know who I am, maybe they don't. Most of them do. Probably usually should just assume that they do. And if they don't, like, it'll be written in a way where they know that it's because they're on the outside looking in and it's their job to catch up. So you can pretty much talk to everybody in here, assuming that they already know who I am and what we've been doing, and they probably participated in lending platforms. And if they didn't, it doesn't matter. It's the context of the group. And so the context of the group is also, it's risky business. So the context of the group is we're acknowledging, like, if you're going to do this, like, we've come to the conclusion that it's very, very risky. It's not really something that I'm encouraging at this point. And I've made posts about that. And if you read a few of my posts, my most recent ones, you'll know my point, and that creates the context of the group. Now, if you want to come in here and provide service, how might you approach that? It might be a little bit different. It might be something like this, considering the context of the group. It might be something like, as a lot of you might be aware, Mike has really decided to move away from these risky business type platforms for now until one or more of them prove to pan out. I don't know if you guys have seen the video he shared in the other groups, but I thought I would just pass it along to you in case you were curious what we're moving into now to create sustainable ways to grow Bitcoin without a lending platform holding it, which has proved to be very risky. So you want to see how we're growing Bitcoin without the lending platforms, click here and watch Mike's video. Reach out to me if you have any questions. Does that make sense? Like, rewind that and listen to that a few times. There's a lot of different ways you can do that. I hope you don't all just do exactly that, like put it in your own words or whatever. Let me give you another example of the context of how you can provide service in this group. You could be going through here and answering questions. Like, someone might say, anyone want to comment about Monetized Coin or Thorn? Where were we heading with them? Those were two lending platforms. You could come in and say, we're not sure what's going on with Monetized Coin and Thorn. Like, if you happen to know a little bit about what's going on, you could answer that question and say, Monetized Coin recently came out with an update. Here's what they basically said. Thorn is going through, is in the very early phases. These companies haven't launched yet. We're hoping they pan out. We're happy with Monetized Coin's communication. Let's see. But as you may have heard, Mike is really moving away from these for now until one or more of them pan out. Until then, we're really putting our focus and our energy on ways to grow our Bitcoin and a cryptocurrency that aren't so risky. Have you seen Mike's video that he shared in the other groups? Here's a link if you want to kind of catch up with how we're growing Bitcoin and cryptocurrency without taking so much risk. Let me know if you have any questions. So you can make a post. You could do a presentation of your own. Obviously, it takes more effort, but seen as more valuable. Or you can answer questions, but it should be within the context of the group. Let's look at another group, USI discussion, same thing. This isn't about lending platforms and risky business context, even though I consider it a risky business because it is a lending platform in a sense. It's different, but different context because this is how a lot of the people joined us and so forth. But again, you would reach out to these people if you're making your own post in a service-oriented way, but starting with the context of where they're at. So you could make a post saying, a lot of you guys might have seen Mike's recent posts. We're all very positive, hopeful that USI is able to figure some things out. There's some announcements that are supposed to be coming out this week. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but Mike and his core team aren't just sitting on their hands while all of this gets worked out. If you want to kind of catch up on what we're doing and maybe you're not in the other groups or you missed it, Mike created a video and posted it yesterday, catching everyone up on how we're growing Bitcoin and cryptocurrency without, giving that to someone else to hold so they can take away the withdraw button or control our Bitcoin too heavily, creating too much risk. If you want to learn how we're growing Bitcoin on our own with some Autobot software, watch this video. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, it started within the context of USI, and there's lots of ways that you could approach that. And again, you can look and answer questions the same way I gave that example before. You can engage. Man, it's so darn easy. It's incredible. Like, it wouldn't take that much time if you're coming from a service-oriented place to draw out hundreds and hundreds of people. I mean, it would take days to do hundreds and hundreds of people of interest. But man, it wouldn't take long at all just to get your inbox exploding with interest if you're coming from a service-oriented place. Again, if you're coming from what you can get, people pick up on that. It just doesn't come off the same way. Go the extra mile too. Like, you noticed when I was articulating the examples, how, like, listen to them again. Like, they're very specific. There's a lot of words in there, but they're not meaningless words. I even repeat a few things instead of just assuming they know what I mean. You can go really deep in providing value. Some people won't need that, other people would love it. But the more deep you go, I think the more sincere it is in your attempt to help. The more you're just kind of just trying to get it out there and move on, I think the more surface oriented it feels and the less connection you make. Listen to my examples again. Listen to how, how there's a lot of words there, but they're not meaningless words to the audience. And they show, real effort on my part to make sure that they understand what the heck I'm talking about and that they can connect to it because I'm taking my time. Just like I am right now with what I'm providing you right now. Like, you've got to take your time to serve people. A lot of people say, well, I don't have time. And yet I notice how much time they're wasting. Talking about being really, really effective with the time that you spend and being able to just create massive attraction power by being service oriented. Okay. Let's go through some more examples here. So again, context, like, start from where they're at, whether you're making a post yourself, you're making a video yourself, make sure your post, like, it makes sense in the group that you're posting it to. And don't look like a spammer. Like, don't be posting the same kind of thing over and over again. I mean, you might sometimes kind of return to it, like when you're answering questions, you're always returning to, maybe you haven't seen Mike's video, but kind of introduce it a little bit differently. It takes energy, it takes effort to provide service and to show that you really care, but that needs to be where your energy is coming from. And if it is, I have no doubt you'll be overwhelmed with interest. You'll be absolutely overwhelmed with interest. And then what you're going to want to do is make sure they watch the video. Where can I find that? This video that I made yesterday. Like, people are going to be coming at you like, did you watch the video? Did you watch the whole video? Like, you're going to have to start to qualify. Well, let's connect after you watch the video. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go back to Andrea. So Andrea, here's an example of somebody you might want to study. Part of this was she did it early, but it's also the way she framed this. And then she goes, because look at how much engagement she got. Like 102 comments. Like, man, I mean, if she works this right, like, this is like, if she follows up with these people and reaches back out and stuff, like, she can get a lot of enrollments just from this post. Or she can just keep posting more value and let them come to her. Either way, like, it's so obvious to me, like, it's endless in this group. And it's funny, I've and again, I'm not making fun of you guys or whatever. I'm not being hard on you, but I got to be real. Some of you have shown frustration because you feel like others are kind of hogging all the people. Like, someone will make a post asking a question, and I've had more than a few. So if I've talked to you about this, don't think I'm picking on you. There's been many of you that have been, and I understand it, but been frustrated, feeling like, others aren't giving you room and space to get your fair share of prospects. But what you're not understanding is there's so many darn prospects in here. What we're lacking is leadership. And I don't mean, like, I know a lot of you are exemplifying leadership. So I don't mean that to knock those of you who are exemplifying stellar leadership. What I'm saying is, we don't have, there's not a lacking at all of amazing prospects here. We just need more people providing the service I'm talking about and having it be real service. And you'll see so many prospects pop out of the woodwork like Andrea did. It's insane. Like, we've created so much interest. Look at this. Like, 102 comments of a lot of interest. Of course, not 102 are all, some of them are Andrea responding back and so forth. But this is plenty of work. And of course, some of them are already enrolled, but a lot of them aren't. And I mean, look, interested, info please, info please, info please. And there she is, message sent, but now she's got to follow up. Like, and now what you want to do is, do a webinar of your own, or, put all these people, reach out to these people, ask them if they watched my video that just came out today. And of course, I'm so sorry. I don't know if your name, I know Andrea so well, but I don't know if you're Andrea or Andrea. I always mess up that name. Like, you guys have to forgive me on names. Uh, I'm smart in some areas, and some other areas I'm just dumb as a doorknob, and I don't mind. I'm not knocking myself. It's the truth. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. We're all strong in some areas and weak in others. I always forget how to pronounce names. I always forget names too, but I remember faces and I remember people and their spirit. But for whatever reason, names not so much. Probably because I never really associated myself with my name. I never valued them that much, the name themselves, but the people behind the names. So anyway, I'm going to say Andrea. I hope it's not Andrea. I'm so confused. Andrea, I'm so sorry. I'm getting it wrong. So Andrea, these are Andrea's leads is what I want to say. And so, she should be working these leads and so forth. Now, if someone else pops up in your feed or whatever, then you can work with that lead, but I don't want people coming in and, aggressively like working these here, not from here. You can make your own posts or answer their questions elsewhere, of course. Okay, so she did extraordinarily well with that. So read what she said. Why is it? I'm really excited about this. I tried manual. I mean, it's sincere. I tried manually day trading and swing trading. A little experience always goes a long way, so that helps that she infused that. But I didn't have time to monitor it all. Read this, guys. Then she added an update. So it gave it another bump. She's also commenting in here and interacting, which keeps it circulating. So notice what's going on and model it. That's working. Let's see here. So, here's an example of one I did. My Autobot. I have 2 bots running. One I started Saturday. I'm just sharing my experience. So sometimes value is just sharing your experience and a little bit of what I learned from that experience. And when you see my post, you can go ahead and work the leads. There's so many leads here. It's insane. And again, you can put them on a list. You can follow up with them. Did they watch the video that I put out yesterday? Like, all these people could be asked that question. It's limitless. Like, it's absolutely limitless. Here's someone else. This is a completely different example. I love it. He came in. Here's how I attached a short video clip to the front of Mike Klingler's video to customize for my YouTube channel. This is for the Mac. So if you have something you can teach, you can post that as well. Then I would just suggest at the end of this, you say, by the way, if you're looking to plug in, he could add that as a little PS because he's providing value. So then you can say, by the way, for those of you that are looking for some mentorship or you have some questions in and around the new direction we're taking with the CWE Autobot, let me know. Like, if he would have just added that, he would have gotten some of those. But that's another thing that you can do that's value-based, it's service-based. Here's someone posted, finally got up and running, ready to rock. So, that's cool, but he should have finished it with, for those of you who want to follow my progress, as I'm starting from the beginning here with the Autobot, that aren't, set up with the Autobot yet, let me know, hit me up. I'll kind of show you my progress. If you have any questions about it, ask them below. I'll go find the answers for you. If he would have just added that, he would have gotten some traction there. But it could have started with, finally got my bot up and running, ready to rock. By the way, if you guys haven't gotten your bot yet and want to follow my progress, let me know. I'll keep you posted. Any questions below, I'll go find the answers. He would have gotten a lot of response there. Someone else, welcome newcomers. I wanted to say hello and introduce myself as part of Mike's VIP group. I'm happy to assist anyone who is just coming to the group and need assistance. So this is a great way of providing service, reaching out to those that are brand new. Different than the suggestion I gave before, reaching out to the same audience, people brand new who might be looking for the 30-day free trial. Like, it's limitless how you can do this. It's just sincere. And look, you got a lot of traction. Check it out. Interested, done. Now he can follow up with those people and say, hey, did you see Mike's video yesterday? By the way, share the video that I'm sharing with you right now. Share this video with your front line. Like, make sure Scott, I don't know if he's in my frontline communications, let's make sure everybody sees this. Like, it's the little things, man. It's the little things that grow big, that allow you to attract, just have phenomenal success. Michelle, another example. You can study these. Go look for them. Lots of interest here. Now she can follow up with those, see if they watched my video. She can keep following up with them along the way. Here's someone who asked a question. that seems unrelated. Is this a good time to buy coins? What kind of coins do you recommend for short and long-term investments? Very easy to answer that question the best way you can and say, by the way, have you heard, what Mike and his team are doing? I'm on his team and we're moving into, Autobot software, and it's just an awesome way to trade. If you missed his video, let me know. I can get it to you. Like, you don't have to shove it down their throat, but just you answer their question a little bit if you can, and then go ahead and leave them with that. As long as you answered their question or said, or you could even say, I find it really difficult to know when to buy the right coins. Like and I think that's, you could say, I think that's like one thing that we can do, but I'm really liking this Autobot software that makes it really easy for us. It chooses the coins for us. We can add some, and it's like, have you seen that? Chandra, have you seen what we're doing? Because it's really cool. It's automating it. Let me know if you missed Mike's video on it. I can send it over to you. So you can kind of address their question and then invite them to and ask them if they've learned about it. And again, you're all leading them to the same video that I just did right now. It changes what we lead them to, but right now that's what we're leading. Marianne Stone, you can see she also got quite a bit of traction. She can follow up with them, make sure they saw my video. Here's another example of answering a question that seems totally unrelated, service-oriented. My Bank of America card has stopped allowing digital currency purchases. Time to find another card that isn't going to start denying digital currency purchases. Any recommendations? You could give her a recommendation, you could address it, and then you could simply say, Tina, by the way, after you addressed her question the best you could, by the way, are you aware of what we're moving into next with the Autobot software? And it could be this simple, that question. You don't have to give a bunch of information. Sometimes they'll respond, reach out to me if you want to connect up on that, if you're not already plugged in. Stefano, his version of that, again, you can go study these, tons of comments, tons of interest. Now he can go back and follow up with them and see if they've watched the video. It's endless. You can keep making posts, keep providing value. Again, what did you learn today? Share it. Talk to different groups. Talk to people that might be studying CWE deeply. Talk to people and frame stuff around the compensation plan. Then you're talking to a network marketer. Sometimes talk to people who are brand new, don't even know what it is. You can be making posts, videos, PowerPoints, talking to those different audiences, providing service, providing value. What did you learn today? Share it. Here's someone just posted interested. I mean, it only took me like a couple minutes to find all of these. That was Stefano again. Greetings from Norway. I'm looking for a VIP to help me get started. And this is going to keep just getting drummed up, and you can see the different responses. Of course, it helps if you make a video of some sort, like Robin came in with a video. That's going to help. It's going to help a lot. You guys you don't have to be amazing at it. Like, share from the heart, It can be short, but that gets people's attention. You might be wondering, well, how much do we want to have 80 people coming after him? No, but I'm not so worried about that. Like, if your intention is service, it's okay. Yes, we probably don't want people tackling people, like everyone converging, but I'm less worried about that than I am where people are coming from when they do it. Like, if you're coming from the right place of service, you'll see when people have gotten enough responses. It's just so natural. That's really what I want to put the focus on, is just where are you coming from? You can always just follow up and say, hey, did you get your questions answered? And by the way, when you see something like this, oops, I didn't mean to hit angry. When you see something like this where someone's asking for help, about he says, I've been following the group about 2 weeks and I like what I see and I want to be a part of it. Okay. When you see something like that, and you see a few people responded, it's okay for a few more people to respond with maybe, ideally you'd teach them something. You'd say, hey, Steiner, by the way, don't want to overwhelm you here, but I'm just wanted to mention, and let me see what he said so I know something sincere that I could truly be helpful with from a place of service. As greetings from Norway. Obviously, if you were in Norway or if you were in Europe, you'd say, hey, we're on the same time zone. Reach out if you're still looking for someone to connect with. So there's one example. Looking for a VIP to get me started with the bot. Been following this group for about 2 weeks now. So you might say, I would probably just come in, even if I saw these posts, I'd probably come in. I think it's very service oriented still to come in and say, hey, Steiner, if you haven't got all your questions answered, let me know. And then I'm gone. If I had done a video on a particular thing saying, like on the compensation plan, I might say, hey, Steiner, um, if you're, I might say, are you interested more in the business side or the Autobot side? And he said the business side. Oh, then I would follow up. I got this compensation plan video I made. Very service oriented. It's okay if there's a lot of people if it's service oriented. It feels different and it's valuable. Renee, hi. Last night I set up my bot. And I awoke to have more Bitcoin than when I went to sleep. And she shares a really nice thing here. See how people do this. She created a lot of engagement, a lot of interest. Okay, I think you get the idea. Robin did a webinar, obviously very valuable. When people do go the extra mile and put something together like that, it's gonna help a lot. And where we're sending them now is basically to that presentation that I did last night. If they watched part of it but not all of it and they're asking questions, I would encourage them to watch all of it. If you got the time, go ahead and connect with them and then send them back to it. But we're really directing people there, and they've already watched it, then you try to get their questions answered. If I'm not available to answer the questions right away, go to the CWE Facebook group, do what you can to get the questions answered for them. Let them know that you're there to help and do your best to find the answers. That's where we're directing them now. Now, that could change in the future, but until further notice, that's where we're sending everybody. All right. So I hope, kind of coming back to the slides, I hope that that was helpful. I mean, for me, it's just so darn simple, but it wasn't years and years ago. It's about like where you're coming from. And sometimes I catch myself trying to get something or get somebody. You got to be in touch with that feeling. Like a lot of people I think are there and they don't know that they're there. Like, no, I'm here to serve. But I can tell there's a tinge of frustration of your lack of results. And it's just not what would happen if you're truly serving. It just isn't, and maybe the issue is just you're not learning, you're not investing enough time into learning what's going on, and you're not then teaching, you're not taking the time because it takes energy to serve. Maybe your heart's in the right place, but you've got to, it doesn't mean much if you don't do it, right? Like, you think of a married couple and it's like, if one of them is really made happy by some simple thing, and that person's like, well, I want to do it, but I just never get around to it. Like, it's just maybe their heart's in the right place, but this isn't the same thing as if they actually do it from time to time, right? So, if you learned something today, share it. Ask yourself, what did I learn? You can share it, and you talk to the different types of audiences. There's the people that are brand new that you could share something with. But like if it's something kind of advanced, like you just learned something complicated about the comp plan, you can say, hey, for those of you that are you can just make a post. For those of you who are looking into CWE and the Autobot software and you're really interested in the business side, I thought this might be of interest to you. I just learned today more about the binary. And something that's really important to understand is, we're able to build in teams. And by building in teams, we're able to really drive this volume down together and have success with it. If you have questions about how that works, how this binary works, I learned a lot about it today. I should be able to answer those questions, for those of you that are knowledgeable with that. So again, it can be advanced like that. And then of course, you're not going to get as much response, but even the people looking like, I wonder what that means. And there you can do something more simple, like, hey, for those of you that are new to the group, you're kind of getting used to what's going on here. Here's kind of a rundown of what's going on. Reach out if you want to connect. Here's a link to Mike's video. Let me know if you have any questions. So that was an example of what you learned today, but the point was you can target different audiences depending on where they're at. And again, so ask yourself, what did I learn today? What can I share today? If you have a question yourself, go learn the answer and share the answer. Make text posts, videos where you're in the video, or PowerPoint presentations, which could be like a webinar. Answer questions that are being posted along the way. I don't have this listed here, but follow up with people that have reached out to you or asked you questions before and just say, hey, did you get your question answered? If they did, then back off. But if they didn't, because maybe someone dropped the ball. Follow up people that responded to your post before and say, hey, did you catch Mike's video yesterday? You don't have to even share the link. Say, he broke everything down in detail, kind of a comprehensive introduction to the whole CWE Autobot thing. Let me know if you missed it. Like, man, it's limitless. Like, there are so many people here. It's incredible that are interested. I've never seen anything like it. Again, notice how others have engaged, that got a lot of engagement. Serve people from where they are at, meaning, like, if you're going in the, well, that was kind of what I was talking about before, speak to those that are new in the group, or speak to those who are already interested in CWE and kind of already know about it. Like, if that's where, you want to share something in and around that, like, know who you're talking to and just, share, be of service, help them out, share. But I guess I also wanted to say, looking again at, we have different groups. If you're talking in the risky business group or you're talking in the USI group, just make sure, like I said before, that you're framing it, starting it out from where they're at and then leading it in. You can listen to my examples again. Guys, I hope this was helpful. I'm going to focus on what I got to do to get everything up and running. We're going to get ready to do our marketing again. But before we do, I just wanted to make sure that we get everybody in our groups a chance to plug in, to get the questions answered, because once we start marketing, it's going to be, chaos growth again. And that's good. That's exciting. But I wanted to make sure that we took a pause here to focus on the people in the group. So I hope you guys will do what you can, and I'm sure you will, to serve and to assist and to put more content out there and to let them know about things you're learning, and keep it sincere and keep it service oriented and keep it just helpful, and you'll do extraordinarily well. And again, follow up with people too that have reached out to you in the past. You'll do extraordinarily well.